What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today is March 8th of 2022. In this video, we're going to talk about a couple of more news stories related to this war that's going on between Russia and Ukraine. Now, yesterday, we learned about the death of a Ukrainian actor, a film star at the age of 33, who returned to Ukraine to defend his country. And we've seen a few stories like this, famous people either defending their country or dying in the act. And it's been my contention since the start of this invasion that for every real element that we're seeing, there's two pieces of theater going on. Now, down in the description underneath this video, you'll see my last video, which talks about President Volodymyr Zelensky, who is an actor from Ukraine. He actually got his start playing the president of Ukraine in a TV series before starting a political party that was named after the television show. And despite years of accusations of corruption, he's now being framed by the mainstream media as the hero in this conflict. So it's important to watch that video first because some of the same numerology that I explored in that video was found in this story as well. The death of Ukrainian actor Pasha Lee, whose real name was Pavlo Lee. Pavlo Romanovich Lee, who again died in battle on March 6th of 2022. Notice how his name sums to 222 and 264 in the language of Gematria or Gematria. This ancient practice uses the alphabetic order to assign a number to each letter. Then we add up each number, either in the English ordinal cipher or reverse ordinal cipher, and we very simply get alignments to the calendar when we do this in these major stories. So the name Pavlo Romanovich Lee has a value of 222 in the alphabetic order. And of course, this is the year 2022. But the big number here is 264 in the reverse alphabetic order. This man's death was confirmed by the Odessa International Film Festival, a city in Ukraine. Notice how Odessa has Sumerian gematria of 264, just like Pasha Lee's full name. Again, this was a number I talked about a lot in my first post. President Volodymyr Zelensky is completely coded alongside Saint Ignatius of Loyola. Now, as I explained in this video, we are currently in an Ignatian year. And the Ignatian year began on the 500th anniversary of St. Ignatius getting wounded during war. Now we have a global war breaking out, supposedly, and it's all falling within the Ignatian year. And this President Zelensky is completely coded alongside Ignatius. He took office 463 years after Ignatius died. That's his name in ordinal. He was elected on 421. He was born 421 years after Ignatius. And he was sworn into office on a date with numerology of 64, like how Saint Ignatius was 64 years old when he passed away. So now we get the death of this actor, whose name also has gematria of 264. And the date he died was March 6th. And the date March 6th stands out because on that same date, the University of Loyola, which is named after St. Ignatius, despite being only a 4 seed, won their conference tournament, defeating the Drake Bulldogs to advance to the NCAA Men's National Championship, or tournament, I should say. This show, Servant of the People, debuted 264 days after Volodymyr Zelensky's birthday. And in Gematria, Servant of the People has this same Gematria, 264, 222. Even the reduction methods are the same as Pavlo Romanovich Lee. Zelensky's studio that produced the series, Kvartal 95, also had Gematria of 264. And this connects us to Saint Ignatius of Loyola, whose name equals 264 in the alphabetic order. We're being told that this Ukrainian film star was 33 years old when he died. In the reverse order, Saint Ignatius of Loyola equals 303. And recall how President Zelensky was born on a date with 33 numerology. But we're not even to the best part of this riddle yet. If you measure from the death of Ignatius of Loyola, July 31st of 1556, to the death of Pasha Lee on March 6th of this year, we get 17,056 days. I'm sorry, 170,056 days, but this contains the digits 1756. Well, if you measure from Pasha Lee's birthday, July 10th of 1988, to the date he died, we find he was exactly 1,756 weeks old. But what's so significant about the number 1756? Well, a lot of people are talking about how this Russo-Ukrainian war could lead us into a global conflict. 1756 was the year that the 7 Years' War began, and the 7 Years' War is said to be the first ever global conflict in geopolitical history. Now, in the language of Gematria, 7 Years' War equals 175 and 176, a lot like how it began in the year 1756, the same digits right there in the Gematria. As far as Pavlo Lee being born in the year 88, that's actually his ordinal Gematria, 88 in English. Because again, it's the Society of Jesus, the Jesuit order, the hidden hand behind the scenes pulling the strings of these actors in office. And how wild is it that I can make a video last week talking about this number 264, and now we see it's coded again into a major actor in this story. Another big story we had from March 6th involved a gymnast from Russia who, after winning a bronze medal in the parallel bars at an event, stirred up some controversy because he wore this letter Z on his chest. You see it down here. He's got the little Z there. And if you caught my last video, the one which is linked below, you'll see why the letter Z is so significant for this whole invasion. Now, the letter Z, as we see it here, does not exist in the Russian Cyrillic alphabet. Their letter Z is written like our number 3. And again, this is all connected to World War III. Vladimir Putin's age on the date of the invasion matched World War III perfectly in Gematria. The number of months since he'd been in office, 117, just like World War III in ordinal. And remember, back in 2013, we had a film called World War Z, and World War Z was selected to kick off the Moscow Film Festival. So check this out. When you write out World War Z in the language of Gematria, notice how it sums to 140. This gymnast named Ivan Kuliak was born in Kaluga, Russia, which has for some reason been removed from his Wikipedia page since I made this post. But when you write out Kaluga, Russia, it sums to 140. So on the date that he stood on the podium, it was 104 months and 14 days since the release of World War Z, which equals 140. Now he's being disciplined by the International Gymnastics Federation, also known as FIG. And would you believe that FIG is 140 years old? And on top of that, March 6th was a span of 140 days before their next anniversary. The word gymnastics also equals 140 in the reverse alphabetic order. The name Ivan Kuliak has Sumerian gematria of 666, and I explained in that video how 666 is connected to World War Z, as they both have the same 275 gematria. The word gymnast equals 99 and 90. This is, of course, an upside-down 666. But think about the date that this all went down. March 6th, the date written 3-6. Well, the number 666 is the 36th triangular number, meaning if you add every number 1 through 36, you get a sum of 666. The word gymnast equals 36 in reverse reduction, and he wore the letter Z on his chest. Notice how Z, when you write it out how the letter is officially spelled, we also get this 36. Kuliak was even born on February 28th, which is the date that leaves 306 days on the calendar. Notice how Z also has this Jewish or Latin value of 510, and the letter Z is what's on the back of the Russian convoys. Russian equals 510. In ordinal, Russian equals 101, which is the 26th prime number, and of course Z is the 26th letter. So it makes a lot of sense to me as to why the letter Z is being used, but one more thing is this. The letter Z is worth 500 in Jewish gematria. The reason this is called the Ignatian year, according to the Society of Jesus, is because it's been 500 years since St. Ignatius was wounded in battle. See this? May 20th, 2021 marks the 500th anniversary of St. Ignatius' conversion. 500. The letter Z. 500, all connected to World War Z. The name Ivan Kuliak sums to 120 in the Russian alphabet, and he was born 120 years after FIG, the organization that suspended him. He was exactly 20 years and 1 week old on the date of this story. The word Russian equals 201. Russian also equals 650 and 52. This story was on the 65th day of the year. He was born on a date with 52 numerology. Now, one last news story I want to do before the end of this video connects to the September 11th attacks. So as we're going through this whole World War riddle in the mainstream media, we're reminded of the big event that really catapulted this nation into fear in the first place, which was the September 11th attacks from back in 2001. And the story here is that the 20th hijacker was sent home from Guantanamo Bay yesterday, getting sent home to Saudi Arabia. So this happened on March 7th. And notice how March 7th had numerology of 52 and 16. The word hijacker equals 52, and the name of this hijacker was al-qahtani, which equals 52 and 160. The name Muhammad Ahmad al-Qahtani, as it's written here in this article, has a gematria value of 119. And this is, of course, a very significant number, as the date September 11th is written this way internationally, the 11th of September, 119. Well, if you measure from the date September 11th to the date that he was sent home, it was 178 days. And in the alphabetic order, his name equals 178. They say he was the 20th hijacker, and notice how the word 20th equals 119 as well. But check out this guy's birthday, November 19th, which is the date that's written very similarly, 1119. But Internationally, like in Saudi Arabia, this date would be written 1911. And this is a very important number. Ancient accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry sums to 1911 with the "and" included. 1911. So not only are the digits 911 in there, but we also get the 1911. In 2001, there was a total solar eclipse on the summer solstice, which is very rare. It only happens about once every 500 years or so. And now with coronavirus and this whole World War thing, notice how it's occurring between these two great American total solar eclipses, creating an X over the middle of the nation. If you measure from September 11th to the date of the first great American total solar eclipse, you get 191 months and 10 days, which is identical to the number 1911. Those attacks were a major eclipse ritual. In Greek isopsephy, the phrase total eclipse sums to 911. But in Hebrew Gematria, the other ancient language that I teach on this channel, total eclipse sums to 227. And if you measure from this man's birthday to the date that he was released from Guantanamo Bay, he was exactly 2,207 weeks old. September the 11th in the alphabetic order equals 227. In fact, in English Gematria, it also equals 1433, which is the 227th prime number. Very significant to this whole riddle. And of course, if you're familiar with my work, you know that 9/11 was a ritual connected to Jesus' crucifixion, which equals 227. Now, if you measure from this first great American eclipse to the date that he got out of jail, it was 1,660 days. And remember how the World Trade Center was also called the Twin Towers, which equals 166 in ordinal. So, on 9/11, there were 19 hijackers. And the number 19 is heavily significant to Islam. And I've done some work on this. You can see my linked post on my blog. The number 19 in the tarot is the sun card. And the number 19 represents the connection between the moon and the sun, as the Metonic cycle is a period of 19 years. Notice how al-qahtani was born on a date with 109 numerology, and his birthday even fell on the 19th day of the 144. The president at the time of 9/11 was George Bush, and yesterday fell 244 days after Bush's birthday. His full name is George Walker Bush, which equals 147 in that cipher. And it was Joe Biden who released this man from prison 1 year and 47 days after Biden took office. We're also told that al-qahtani was born in 79. Of course, Biden is currently 79 years old. It's said that he was the 20th hijacker. And the number 20 sums to 107 when you write it out. Biden released this man 107 days after his birthday. In the reverse order, the number 20 sums to 55. And the 55th prime number is 257. This man was released from prison 257 days before his own birthday. All falling into place a little too neatly, doesn't it? All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Again, check the links in the description for more with the riddle of Saint Ignatius, Vladimir Putin, Volodymyr Zelensky, and how it all comes together. Also, links to my blog. If you ever come to my channel looking for a video but don't see one, there's probably new blog posts, so don't forget to bookmark that as well. All right, guys, peace, love, God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.